The pursuit of the ideal customer experience driven by the Amazon effect in consumer culture sets the stage for patient expectations when dealing with healthcare providers and organizations. Patients want simple and engaging communications delivered through digital channels, a single click to anything and everything. Healthcare organizations that can provide these communications will be one step closer to being relevant for the patient who is navigating life with a smartphone by her side. Here to share more with us is Gum Fa Ing, the Senior Solutions Consultant from Doxim, a customer communications management technology provider that serves the healthcare industry. Gum provides extensive experiences in helping enterprise clients enhance the customer experience by considering the ubiquity of technology in our everyday lives and how it should transform communications between businesses and their customers. Welcome.
Hi, Amanda. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. So glad to have you here. All right, let's talk about what this topic really is so fascinating to me. Between accessibility legislation and the 21st Century Cures Act, the focus in healthcare is on making information more readily available for patients. So from your perspective of communications, what does this really mean for an improved patient experience?
Well, Amanda, it's an interesting time right now in the industry. And yes, both of those pieces of legislation are really about making healthcare information more readily available to patients of all abilities and, in effect, make that information more human and relevant to patients. And so the final rule of the Cures Act actually is very clear with respect to using digital channels as the medium for driving its agenda. So for the American public as a whole, the final rule promotes innovation in healthcare technology ecosystems and to help deliver better information and more conveniently to patients through the use of modern technology like computers and smartphones. And so ultimately, industry legislation is merely reinforcing what we as consumers are expecting today in all facets of our lives, not just in healthcare. That is to be provided with communications that are personalized, understandable, relevant, timely, and increasingly digital.
Moving into the new digital world. Not so new, but maybe newer in this arena, right? How critical is the transformation then to modern digital patient communications and improving the overall patient experience?
So the industry legislation that we just spoke about, that's actually, as I'd mentioned, in lockstep with heightened digital expectations of consumer culture and the reality of our physically distanced lives today. The convergence of these three factors means that most patients have very real experience expectations when they interact with healthcare organizations. They assume frictionless digital experiences that can be conducted, as you said, with one click of their smartphone. Industry consultants have noted these expectations. Like McKinsey noted that all generations are increasingly open to digital healthcare communications. Accenture noted that more than 70% of patients today prefer digital communications, and more than half of them actually expect digital capabilities from their providers. And during these pandemic times, McKinsey actually just did another study back in the summer where they noted that we as a society have vaulted 5 years forward in consumer digital adoption in a matter of 8 weeks. And so in the current environment of value-based care, patient experience should be the key consideration in any decision that a provider makes. With patient communications such as statements and EOBs or notices, these are touch points that stay with the patient long after they've left the provider's offices. These are the touch points that will color the patient's expectations and perceptions of their experiences with the provider. If these statements are received in the mail many days or weeks after the appointment and they're confusing, that is what will linger with the patient. So when you ask about how critical digital communications may be in improving the patient experience, I'd love to just show you a simple example of that difference for something as ordinary as a statement. So I've shared I've shared on screen an average insurance statement. I don't know if you can see that, but this healthcare plan member, may have received it in the mail. It's a PDF of the print replica of the printed statement. And there's nothing wrong with it, right? It's there. It's a bit boring looking, but it does the job. It tells me what I need to pay. That's great. But from a digital delivery perspective, though, if that same plan member, and this is just my phone casted on screen, if that same plan member received, say, a text notification that said, hey, your statement's ready to view, and all they had to do is click through, they click through to their healthcare or to their insurance provider's portal, which it has to be because this is secure information. But this portal can suddenly provide them with additional information, right? Some additional information that may impact their lifestyle, impact how they conduct their lives. But once you move into that same statement from a digital perspective, an HTML perspective, you suddenly see that it contains the same information, but it's presented in a way that's definitely more appealing to me as a modern consumer. And in terms of the information that is provided as sort of small print in the original statement, it's all nicely broken out, and I can quickly find what I'm looking for. If I'm looking for, premium payment options, it's right there. And in terms of additional information, I can, my insurance provider can include additional value add information, include things like video, which, in this day and age, video is something that's definitely compelling and intriguing to people.
Customer communications management. It's not easy to get it right.
That's so cool. What a really interesting solution. And one of the things that really resonated with me is what you just said about the trajectory at which, it's not like these more digital communication concepts have not been around. It's just the urgency in the sense of just, pivoted dynamic, especially with what we've been going through with COVID, really has lit a candle under it, if you will.
Exactly. And it has everything to do with the fact that, as you say, it hasn't been around for that long, but within the healthcare industry, there's just so many regulations and so much compliance associated with it that folks find it very difficult to actually transition from the standard original sort of legacy type statement to something more digital and something more common that we find in our modern lives.
Yeah, absolutely. The chat is buzzing with people saying it looks really slick. They really like the platform, really nice. They love the digital statement. Hope to see it available soon. So super cool.
Yeah.
All right. Tell me a little bit, Gum, about what you typically see as the greatest obstacle for organizations to delivering more engaging digital patient communications. What's the hook or the holdup?
The holdup, it's resources and expertise. Really, it's resources and expertise in sort of the digital transformation of communications. And that's sort of in two areas. It's within the realm of technology as well as in the realm of strategy. So from a technology perspective, I often will see a lot of technology silos within organizations that prevent them from getting key patient data together in order to deliver this comprehensive digital experience. And so, oftentimes they just don't have the tools or the processes or the systems that they need to have in place in order to ensure that this is a completely seamless experience for patients. Because the second you go digital, everything is pretty much real time. So you need to have it in play. And then from a strategy perspective, there's a whole element of actually really thinking through what you want to accomplish with these digital communications as an organization as you send them out. And so you really need to think through how you're going to engage your customers, right down to things like where should things appear on screen to make it as convenient for the patient as possible to do what they need to do what you'd like them to do within that experience. So it's sort of two sides of the same coin. It's the technology side, the actual tools and the mechanics, and then the actual strategy side where it's like really thinking through where you want to go with it.
Awesome. Well, definitely an impressive technology that folks are excited to learn more about.
That's
Doxim
awesome.
is the CCM technology leader, serving healthcare and regulated markets, providing omni-channel communication solutions and transforming experiences to strengthen engagement throughout the entire customer lifestyle. Please visit www.doxim.com to learn more about how to improve your patient communication strategy, or make sure that you visit their booth. Excuse me. I'm just so excited and overwhelmed. Visit their booth in the exhibitor showcase too to learn more. Thank you so much, Gum. It really was a pleasure.
Thank you, Amanda. Have a good afternoon.
Thanks. All right, everybody, that's a wrap for our tech demo spotlights this afternoon. Thanks to all of the subject matter experts that joined us over the last 3 days. Please make your way over to the exhibitor showcase to follow up with any of the amazing organizations that I spoke with today and so many others. Up next, you're off to your last 2 rounds of educational sessions at 1:55 and 2:55. And our closing general session starts at 4 p.m., followed by our closing happy hour at 5:15. Make it a great afternoon, everyone.